Freshman year, one of our major goals is going to be active reading. Active reading is a term you're going to hear me use quite often. Before I begin teaching you about active reading, I would like to know, what are your ideas about what active readers do? Please take a moment to write down 3 actions you think an active reader should do while reading. Now, for each of those actions that you wrote down, please briefly tell me why a reader should engage in that activity while he or she is reading. This year for active reading, we're going to use the mnemonic of practice. Each of the letters in practice is going to stand for an action that I would like you to do when you read actively. The first P is going to stand for predict. Predicting what might happen next based on your knowledge of the characters, the setting, the conflicts is an important part of active reading, showing that you are really engaging with the text. The R stands for react. Similar to predicting, reacting, getting angry, frustrated, upset with the characters is a great way to show that you are engaging. The A stands for ask thoughtful questions. Active readers don't stay stuck. They really make the effort to try to figure out what's going on in the text by asking questions. Asking the right questions keeps your brain engaged. It keeps you from drifting off and losing focus. The C stands for create visuals. It is really important for readers to try to visualize what is happening in the text in their minds, and sometimes we're going to create visuals through our annotations or notes. Many of our class activities will require you to be creative and visual when we are looking at sections of texts, including activities that help you to use visuals to analyze, interpret, and infer. Students often can show more in-depth knowledge using visuals, at least initially, upon first and second readings, and this leads to better writing as well as better understanding of the text. The T stands for take notes. This is an imperative part of being an active reader. You should always read academic texts with a pen or pencil in your hand with a clear purpose and jot down your ideas, thoughts, facts about the text. Notes that are organized and clearly accessible will help you process what you've read, and we will develop different types of note-taking skills this year. The types of note-taking that students can use are limitless. We will go over a few this year. I want to point out again that note-taking is often visual and uses imagery and visuals and pictures, not simply writing words. The I stands for infer and interpret. An active reader's job is not simply to retell the plot or facts of the text. It is to figure out, what does this text mean on a deeper and more critical level. Inferring and interpreting are critical thinking skills that apply to active readers because you base it on what happens in the text and you support the ideas and inferences you come up with textual evidence from the text. But it is more than simply a retelling of facts and events. The C stands for connect to the text. This is imperative. An active reader will always look to make connections, of course, to him or herself, but also to the world in general, other pieces of art, including other texts. A thoughtful, relevant, and insightful connection to a piece of art, a piece of music, A film shows that a student is thinking actively while reading, and that is impressive. Please make sure that the connection is not superficial or obvious, but goes beyond the main actions of a text to the deeper, big idea of a text. The E stands for evaluate the text. This is not the same as saying I like or dislike the text. You can evaluate a text even if you didn't like the story or you didn't find the story interesting. Evaluating the text is in part deciding whether the text is an excellent text, but not for your personal taste. It's more for the quality of writing or the ideas found in the text. When you're evaluating the text, you're thinking about how the author used tools and literary devices to be effective to send a message or to make the reader feel, to help the reader connect to the text emotionally or on a personal level, or to see the text visually. When evaluating the text, students should refer to the literary devices that the author used well and effectively to make the reader think, or failed to use, or their use of which wasn't as effective as it could be. So the idea behind being an active reader is to always think about what you're reading critically. Don't be passive, be active, because this year you're evaluating and analyzing, which is more than retelling the story. Active reading requires readers' brains to be working at all times. For some of us, when it comes to reading, this may require a new mindset. When you change your mindset, you can get new results. One of the most important mindset changes is going to be to forget that reading can be boring. Remember, your education is not for entertainment. You have video games for that. You have Netflix for that. You're here to learn. And so if you convince yourself that reading is boring, you're going to make yourself more of a challenge. So this year, no one is going to say that reading is boring. Of course, reading takes time, so we have to change our mindset that we can do reading quickly. Reading has to be done carefully. We have to change our mindset that when we become frustrated, we will give up. Reading can be frustrating, especially when the text is challenging, but this year I'm going to need you to change your mindset to one that's positive and saying even when it's challenging, we're going to keep pushing through. We're going to put in that extra time, and we're going to make ourselves better readers. I'd like to end this video with the idea of changing that mindset about reading. You really have to change any negative thoughts you have about it. You have to come in and be optimistic that you can do it, even though it may be challenging sometimes. Everyone can do it. You got to think positively, be determined, stay strong in your convictions that you want to be a better reader. Allow me to encourage you. Encouraging you doesn't mean I can, magically make the text super interesting for you, but I will do my best in that respect. Come to class with a positive, happy attitude. Try to stay motivated. We all get frustrated sometimes and we all get tired. Just try to regroup, and if you try your best, I want to be here to help you be the best reader you can. So we're going to encourage ourselves to maintain a growth mindset, especially when it comes to reading. You want to learn from your mistakes, work hard to improve, never give up. That's what I'm asking. Never give up. Be determined to do your best. Be willing to self-reflect so that you can succeed and you can overcome with effort, and you can retrain your brain. So put in the past any struggles you've had and come with a fresh mindset. It's time to set some goals about your own personal growth mindset. Besides the ones talked about earlier in this video, Please identify 3 ways that you will approach reading with a positive mindset this year. When you write your mindset goals, I would like each to start the following way. Number 1, I can. Number 2, I will. Number 3, I know.